There's this incredibly powerful system working inside you right at this very moment. But it's a system we so often overlook that it might as well be invisible. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on your body's innate and, yeah, often neglected ability to heal itself.
And to really get our heads around this, I want to start with a story. It's about a 23-year-old man whose entire life was basically defined by one single relentless thing: chronic pain.
I mean, listen to how his doctor described it. His life wasn't about thriving. It was just about being maintained by medicine at a level that was, and I'm quoting here, barely manageable. Just think about that for a second.
So imagine being in this cycle. We're talking constant migraines since he was a kid, along with nausea, dizziness. Triggers were just, well, everywhere. Not getting enough sleep, a change in the weather, any kind of stress. And the painkillers, they were like a dimmer switch on a light that was always on. They could turn it down a bit, but they could never, ever turn it off. So modern medicine was absolutely keeping him functional, but it wasn't making him well. There's a huge difference.
And this brings us to a really crucial question, one that flips the whole perspective on its head. What if the goal isn't just to fight the pain? What if this constant battle against the symptoms is actually the wrong approach entirely?
Okay, and this is where the story gets really, really interesting. The clue that kind of cracked the whole case came from a surprisingly simple question his doctor asked him. He just said, "Have you ever had a time when you weren't in pain?" And after thinking for a minute, he remembered something. It wasn't some new treatment. It wasn't a therapy session. Nope, it was a video game. One day, he just got completely lost in it, totally absorbed. And here it is. This is the breakthrough. For several hours, while he was completely immersed in that game, he realized something astonishing afterward. The pain had just vanished. It wasn't just dimmed. It was completely gone. So, why? I mean, that's the million-dollar question, right? Why did that happen? It wasn't a new drug. It wasn't a special diet. What on earth was so different about that one moment that it could do what years of medicine couldn't? You see, that one small clue, that little window of relief, it led to this huge realization. What if the target was never the pain itself? What if we've all been focusing on the wrong system this whole time? It really comes down to the difference between two goals: cure versus self-heal. On one hand, a cure usually uses some kind of external force, like a drug, to suppress a symptom. The body is kind of passive in that process. But self-healing is all internal. It's not about suppressing anything. It's about restoring the body's own natural stability. The body becomes the active player in the game. And the goal isn't just to make a problem go away, but to make the whole system stable and resilient again. So what is this self-healing system? Well, it's basically your body's built-in collection of abilities to get itself back to a stable place after it's been disturbed. I mean, think about it. A paper cut heals, you get over a cold. This isn't some mystical, magical concept. It's a biological instinct that's hardwired into every single one of us. It's not something medicine invented. It's a fundamental part of being alive. The source material has this perfect metaphor for it. Imagine our bodies are like a super smart building with its own incredible automated repair system. But we've gotten so used to just calling the external repair crews, the doctors, the drugs, the interventions, that our own internal system is just sitting there, completely covered in dust from not being used. So the big question is, how do you get that internal system back online? Well, for the young man with the migraines, the entire game plan had to change. The goal was no longer about attacking the pain. The new strategy was all about creating the right conditions for his body to just do its thing. So, step one, figure out the pain-free conditions. What was so different about the video game? His attention had shifted. He wasn't fighting the pain. Step two, train that attention, like you'd train a muscle, to create more of these pain-free windows. Step three, and this is so important, was to protect those windows. When a pain-free moment showed up, the goal wasn't to test its limits, but to just rest in that safe state. And finally, step four, the role of medicine totally changed. It wasn't the star of the show anymore. It was more like a guardrail on the highway, there for protection, but not the one doing the driving. And this meant they had to completely redefine what progress even looked like. Instead of asking the old question, how bad is the pain today? The new question became, how long were the pain-free windows this week?
The focus shifted from obsessing over the problem to watching the trend of improvement. Was he bouncing back from flare-ups faster? That became the new yardstick for success.
When you get right down to it, this story isn't just about one guy's migraines. It's a really powerful example of a fundamental shift in how we can think about our own health. It's about moving from a state of constant fighting to one of simply allowing. And that right there is the key takeaway. Self-healing is not a miracle. It's a physiological process. And the most important word here is allowed. It's a natural process that we, often without even realizing it, get in the way of. And that really leaves us with one final provocative thought. It's not about finding some magic bullet. The real question we should be asking ourselves is this: what are we doing that might be blocking the path? And how can we start allowing our own recovery to finally happen?